friends, it's Dylan Young here, developer advocate at Sitecore. Today I'm joined by Sarah Riley, a Sitecore sales engineer. She will be running through a specific use case of creating a full stack triggered experience inside Sitecore Personalize to trigger a personalized email inside Salesforce Marketing Cloud. This specific use case highlights the true power of Sitecore Personalized products standalone, and how using a triggered experience, you can then combine it with pretty much any external application to create personalized experiences using those applications. If you like today's video, please subscribe and like today's video. And feel free to comment and let us know of any other specific use cases you would like us to cover on this channel. So with that being said, let's jump in to Sarah's presentation.
So to start off here, I'm just going to go through the setup. So here we have a triggered full stack experience. Here we have the payload that's being sent, and I'll describe that in detail in a minute. The trigger here is based off session being closed. This can obviously be on abandoned cart or a guest being updated, or a custom trigger based on a custom event. My audience here says it's for known customers. It's for known customers, but it's also for customers that have triggered a particular event for filling in a form. So the details of that are in there. And also a decision model. So decision model is picking up details of the loan that's been abandoned, but it's also recommending a personalized article. So just to show that very briefly, it's not really the important part of this video. But here, for example, what's happening is we're just picking up the most recent session, working out the details of what's been abandoned in that session and using that to determine the next best offer. Here, this is just determining, for example, if it's a home loan, a holiday loan, or a wedding loan, with some details like the term and the loan amount, and then the guest information as well. The other part of this then is the article being recommended. So here, just the products that the guest already owns, along with the details of the loan they're currently applying for, are being pushed in here into this article. So for example, there are things like if the guest is looking for a home improvement loan and they have a mortgage, we're going to recommend for them this article, which is when to refinance your mortgage. And you can see here there's a number of different articles being recommended here based on these inputs. So this decision model is determining what exactly has been abandoned, but on top of that, it's also recommending a personalized article. Okay, so an article that's relevant for that individual guest based on what we know about them from the CDP and based on the real-time session behavior that we're getting in, either in Sitecore Personalize or in CDP. The reason I'm calling this out is because oftentimes when we talk about triggering emails via Personalize, via Sitecore Personalize, often a question we get asked is why? Why would I want to trigger my email via Personalize? And the reason is for personalized emails. Okay, so if we want to do a bit more in the email, have information in there that's just relevant to that individual person, have one template, say, in Salesforce Marketing Cloud that's actually being used, say, for multiple different customers and has changing content based on what's relevant for that customer. That's when we use Sitecore Personalize. That's just the reason I'm calling this out here. So going back then into this triggered full stack experience, here's the payload that's being used here. Okay, so the standard kind of layout when we're integrating with Salesforce Marketing Cloud is that the keys are sent here for whatever we're sending in. So in this case, the endpoint that we're hitting in Salesforce Marketing Cloud is for creating a data extension, a row and a data extension. So I have a data extension set up that I'll show you in a minute for abandoned loan applications. And here we're adding rows to that data extension that have these different attributes. The primary key for that data extension is the email. So here's where I'm sending in the key as email, and the different values that I'm populating are here. So you can see here, for example, the first name is coming off the guest. The abandoned time is coming out of my decision model here with the abandoned session and the time associated with it. And then I have different information that are coming off, say, my articles and also my loan as well. So all this information has been sent through to Salesforce Marketing Cloud. If I click here on my headers, I can see here my connection. So my connection here is to Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And here I can see the actual endpoint that I'm hitting here. So what I'm doing here is I am creating a row in a data extension that exists in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. This is the key for the data extension. And we're just going to go in and have a look at this actual connection as well, just to look at how that's set up. So I'm just going to open up this connection. So here is my connection, and I'm just going to open this up just to show you as well how easy it is to set up this connection. So I'm just going to duplicate this just to show you that. I'm going to call this V2. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is my OAuth, okay? So here I need to put in my client key for my environment, and then I also need to put in whatever my password is or my secret. So here I'm going to put that in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press test authentication. Here, when this client ID and secret are valid for my token endpoint here, this is my the organization that I'm hitting in this case for Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I get back here my access token. This is automatically then going to be used for any further requests. So I'm going to press next here. Here's the actual endpoint that I actually need to hit to create my data extension with the key here called CDP abandoned cart. And here's the payload that I'm going to be sending in just to run a test. So you can see here this payload obviously has the same structure as what I have set up in my triggered full stack experience. I'm going to test this request. And here you can see I'm getting back a 200 response, okay, with details like this has been successful. Once this is 200, I can then press next. And then what I can do is I can actually just save this. Okay, that previous page there just asked me how I want to map the output, and here I can just press save. Once that's saved, I can then reuse that connection forever. Okay, so once I've done this once, I can set it up. I'm not going to bother setting up a new connection in this place, but that's just how it's set up. So that's the setup here on the Sitecore Personalize side for my full stack triggered experience. On the Salesforce Marketing Cloud side then, this is what it looks like. So to start off here, this is my data extension for CDP abandoned cart. This is my key that you saw me using there, CDP abandoned cart. That's where that's set up and used. Here you can see all my attributes, and here we can see that email is my primary key. That's why I'm sending it in the key section of the payload. Here's my records. So I'm actually just going to clear these records here, or these two ones here for the purposes of the demo. I'm just going to clear these records, and we'll see then this being updated when I pass in a new payload. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is we're just going to trigger that full stack triggered experience, and we'll see then the record coming in here. So to do that, in this case, I've set this up on Spin Bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across and apply for a loan. So here I'm going to put in my amount. So I'll put this in as, say, 2.5K. My term is going to be 48 months. The purpose is going to be for a home improvement, let's say. And here I'm going to put in my name and my email address, and we're going to calculate the loan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end my session, because we know already this is triggered on a closed session. Okay. So if I go over to my guest profile here and just refresh, what we're going to see here is that my session has just ended, and I can see here I have this abandoned loan email. That's not the one I'm actually using in this case. The one I'm using in this case is this one here. Okay, so abandoned loan email via Salesforce. So that's just been triggered successfully. If I go back over to Salesforce then and just refresh this, here I'm going to see the session that I just closed. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is this is the session that I closed. We can see here it's for 2.5K for 48 months I was showing, and we can see here as well as for a home improvement loan like I just set up, and here we can see the time that was just been abandoned at. Here we can see the article that I'm being recommended based off those rules. So it's saying recommending for me to switch my mortgage providers, and here I'm getting some text. That's the article that's being recommended. Okay. Now that this data extension has been added here, what I have set up in Salesforce Marketing Cloud as part of the journey builder is a journey that looks at that data extension every hour and basically works out if it hasn't yet been triggered. It's going to send an abandoned cart email. Then it's going to mark that field triggered to false. Okay. So if I go back here for a second in Journey Builder, you'll see here there's a field triggered. This is set to false basically until an email has been sent to that person, and then it's going to be flipped back to true. So how that's happening is I'm sending in the payload with it set as false, and here this particular part of the journey here is updating the contact here to have triggered equal to true, and this decision split section here is just checking to see if triggered is equal to true or false, and based on that then it's going to either send the email or not. So this is just the journey that's being set up to basically look at that data extension. You can see here it's using this abandoned cart V2 email. And if we have a look, we can have a look at that as well. So here's the V2 abandoned cart email where it's been set up in the content builder. And what we can see here is all of these inputs here are coming from whatever I'm populating, whatever I'm sending over in my payload for my data extension from Sitecore Personalize. So I can go in here and edit this just to show you. So I'm going to edit here the content. So when I'm building this and building out all these different fields. All I have to do here is for each of these fields, if I want to add something new, all I have to do is in here in this little person button, I have my data extension associated with it, and here I can see all the fields that are being sent in, and I can use this then to build up the body of what's in my email. I can also use that, for example, to put in different images that I want to use, like these placeholder images, and down at the bottom here is going to be where my article is going to be. So we can have a look now and see what this is going to look like for the person that I've just added when that journey builder runs on the hour to send out those emails. So this is the customer that I've just added to that data extension. So I'm going to select that person. And here we can see now this is being populated from all the information that's coming from Sitecore Personalize. So in Sitecore Personalize, in that decision model, I'm picking up the details of what I've populated when I was filling out that loan application. So here we can see my name, here we can see the amount, here we can see the term. Down here as well we can see the custom text that I have associated with anyone who's looking for a home extension, loan for a home extension. We can see all that detail here, and down at the bottom we can actually see my recommended article. Okay, so based off the back that we know I don't have a mortgage, I'm being recommended this particular offer related to article related to switching my mortgage providers to lower my interest rate. So I can see here text associated with that. So all of this here is being populated from Sitecore Personalize. And if I test that in the decision model that I was briefly showing you there, we'll see that I get through the same result here. So I can test this here for myself. And we can see here, for example, I'm getting recommended details of a home loan. And here we can see I'm getting the article I'm being recommended is related to switching mortgage providers to lower my interest rate. All the details of what's in here, all these images, all this text, everything else has been set up in this case as offers within Sitecore Personalize. That doesn't have to be the case. We could be calling out to an external system to pick those up. But here we've just set it up as offers, and that's what's being passed through here to Sitecore. This is what's being passed through here to Salesforce Marketing Cloud.
Well, that concludes today's presentation. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you haven't done so already. This will allow you to get notifications of any future great content that we're releasing on this channel. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed today's content, and we'll see you again back next time for the next video.